Hi all, in this video let's learn few points which we need to keep in mind while we are raising the pull request. Let me go step by step like point by point. Firstly, whenever a story or a bug you are picking, so try to understand it better. Okay, and while you are raising the pull request, try to check that once. So whether the bug or the feature which was assigned to you, you're doing that or not. Like first check it. That's the first step we need to do. And the second step is remove the consoles and the debuggers for sure. This we need to do for sure. And later you also can install a couple of ESLint plugins, which they will warn you. So to remove these consoles, debuggers, and also make sure you remove all the lint issues and linting, testing, all these things like test cases should pass, lints should pass, BDDs should pass before you commit your code, before you push your code. To make sure all these do automatically, so you can install a package called Husky. So with the help of this package, you can write the pre-commit and pre-push scripts. In these scripts, you can mention whenever you're trying to commit something, right? Like your test cases should pass, your links should pass, your BDD should pass. So like that, you can write with the help of this. So instead manually checking, you can also use of this Husky and write this pre-commit and pre-push scripts. So I have done a dedicated video on this, how this Git hooks will help us. So I will keep this at the eye icon at the end of the cards. You can see and refer this, how to write these hooks. In the 21 line, you can see you need to install the Husky, a package, and then you need to put this pre-commit and pre-push commands. See, when you committing, you're checking the link and you're running the tests as well. So this is what you're like automating them instead of doing this manually again and again. So these are the major things. Firstly, check your changes are working or not, remove the consoles, address all the linting and tests are working or not, and all the BDDs are working or not. That for sure you need to sure. You need to make sure those are working. And the other thing is like make sure the existing test cases should not fail. Whatever the feature you introduced, whatever the bug you have fixed, with that the existing test cases should not fail, and add the new test cases if really those are needed. Okay, most of the times what happens is like we just develop the features and the bugs, will not add the test cases for them. With this what happens, the code coverage comes down. So most of the projects they may be using some tool called Sonar Cube, which will track the code coverage. With this what happens, you can push your code at this time. Okay, but during the deployment and when the CI/CD pipeline, it would be caught at that moment. As a code coverage is below 80, below 90, then it would be caught. And then again, that will come back to you as a bug. Okay, so it's good to make sure like you are covering the code coverage for your story or not. Okay, you can also install this Sonar Cube at your local end and you can check whether you're covering the code coverage or not. That's another thing. And another thing you can do is like whatever the feature you have developed, you can add a documentation so that next time everyone can understand as part of this release or as part of this feature, so what they can do. Okay, that's another way of like adding the documentation, what are the properties they need to send, how to use your component, how to use your feature functionality, what should be the default props, all those things you can add as a documentation as well. And coming to the once you push everything, so these are the points where you need to take care while you are coding at the coding part. So next, when you are pushed your code, okay, then it would come into the Git like this. And here you need to make sure what would be the title. So ideally, the title should be the story number. Give whatever the story number you have. So Jira 1234, like whatever your project, and it will have some ID. So give the title and the story name here and tell that it's like a login functionality or login feature, something, the main headlines what you're trying to achieve as part of this pull request. Mention this title very much clear. Why you're mentioning this story number and ID? Because so if someone wants to verify what exactly the acceptance criteria of this story, they can go back to this story and they can check what is exactly needed. Okay, so that's the reason. Give the proper title. And the next thing is an description. This should also be very proper and very particular. In the description, you can add what all the things you did and how the reviewer can test your PR. So, right, mention few steps how he needs to test your PR so that it would be very easy for the PR reviewers to review and get back the feedback to you sooner. Okay, that's a that's another point. And make sure you're raising the pull request to the correct branches. So most of the times, if you are fixing something hot fix, you need to raise the pull request to the release branch, not to the develop. And if you're developing any features, you need to raise your pull request to the develop, not to the release branches. So you need to make sure while you're raising the pull request, are you raising to the correct, like the target branch is correct or not? Please make sure that as well. So sometimes what happens, everyone will review the things, but if this is not clear, like which functionality or which feature should be go as a release or as a hotfix or as a functionality or a feature in the further releases, if you're not sure on that, this merging will makes a lot of stuff like you need to revert a lot of things. That's the reason. Please make sure what is your target branch. Okay, and next thing is like pull the latest changes. So whenever you're trying to push something to this development branch, okay, you're raising pull request to the development branch, then make sure you already have all the code changes from this develop into your branch. So git merge, git pull from git pull and git merge to this develop from your branch. So you will be getting all the code which is present in the develop, so that you are not missing anything or you're not getting any conflicts, merge conflicts as well. So even at that point, you can understand if there are any merge conflicts, you can fix them and you can raise the pull request. Fine. So that's another point. And please make sure you need to squash your commits. Squashing in sense like you may commit 10 to 20 times in a single PR, but at while it is merging, you need to squash the commits into a single commit. So that's the reason. Please make sure squash your commits. So most of the GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket, these will give automatic option to squash your commits when it was merged. If not, you need to do that manually. Like you can use the git squash commits commands to do that. And also try to follow the particular project coding standards. So coding standards are multiple, like you can have n number of coding standards, but every project will have its own structure, the coding standards. Okay, try to follow them and try to and most of the cases, what I usually do is like I usually go to other PRs and I will verify their comments, how they are commenting, how they are doing the work, and what all the review comments they are getting. By learning through that, I can stop a couple of issues from in my PR. So that's what I usually do, and follow particular project coding standards which were mentioned as per your project. So these are the high level, these are few things you need to keep in mind while you are raising the pull request, so that you'll be getting your pull request easily merged instead of taking long time. So hope you understand the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thank you.